there is a God. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Declan. If you enjoy talking about movies, then you're going to be right at home here. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me. In today's video though, we're going to be discussing the news that has recently broke over the last hour that Sony and Disney have officially broken bread to bring Spider-Man back into the MCU for one final film, so let's jump into it. So this news, of course, all originated a couple of months ago when it was announced that Disney and Sony couldn't come to an agreement over the Spider-Man MCU deal, and eventually Sony actually pulled out of the deal, pulling Spider-Man out of the MCU, and this upset many fans, and it was a lose-lose situation for everybody, because Sony wasn't going to make any more money, Disney wasn't going to make any money, and us, the fans, weren't going to see Spider-Man in the MCU. It was a lose-lose situation across all fronts. But it seems like now Disney and Sony have finally mended fences in order to actually bring Spider-Man back into the MCU, and it's just great news for everybody. So the report comes from Deadline, and the report goes as follows. Disney and Sony mended fences last night in a signed agreement. No matter what nasty backroom dealings there were as this deal came together in the last month, it's the fans who won today, as the extension of the web slinger into the Avengers films and Captain America Civil War and Feige's creative fingerprints on the last two Spidey films have altogether amassed close to $8 billion for those 5 films. Deadline always had a sense that there was a possibility that Sony and Marvel would come back together on this. Disney already owns merchandising rights on Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man deal over the last 2 Spider-Man films saw Disney getting an estimated 5% of first gross dollar, and those were terms that Burbank Studio did not want to move forward with. So that was kind of things that we knew about before. We knew that kind of there was this deal that Disney wanted to bring and Sony weren't exactly happy with it, but it was kind of a stupidly unrealistic deal from Disney anyway. They wanted to go 50-50, which was ridiculous for any studio to take, and I'm actually very proud that Sony actually stood up to Disney because no one else will. So it was really good that they actually did that. However, it was rumored that Disney did come back with another deal, which would be a 25% co-financing deal, where they would co-finance the movie and then get 25% of the profits. And this is really interesting because this has now been officially cleared up. Sony has agreed to the terms that Disney originally proposed for its participation in a third Spider-Man movie, whereby Disney and Marvel would co-finance 25% of a third Homecoming film for a 25% equity stake. The deal also calls for Spider-Man to appear in one more Disney Marvel film. This is also a big deal for Sony, given that in continuing a series that will bring likely another billion-dollar movie. And additionally, this deal keeps intact the creative steering of Walt Disney Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige, who led 2 of the best and most profitable fan-pleasing picks in the Spidey film canon together, grossing $2 billion worldwide. So this is really exciting. One thing that I wanted to know before filming this video, and luckily it was cleared up on the article, is that I wanted to know what the actual deal was. So the deal now between Sony and Marvel for this film is that they will co-finance 25% of it and receive 25% of the equity stake, as well as the 100% merchandising rights that they had anyway. So what does this mean for the MCU? Well, it means that we will be receiving another Spider-Man film. The 3rd film in this Spider-Man trilogy will be wrapping up that story that was officially kind of kicked off at the end of Far From Home in regards to the identity reveal and things like that. So the 3rd film is officially scheduled for July 16th, 2021, meaning that we will now have 4 MCU films in 2021. It will go out alongside Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, and Thor 4. So it will be out with all those movies, and like I say, July 16th, which is a really good date. Summer always tends to work well for Spider-Man, so they're going to be doing that. Amy Pascal will also be returning to produce the film through Pascal Pictures, which she has done for the first 2 movies as well. So that's really exciting. It just means we are finally going to get that 3rd Spider-Man film within the MCU, which we all desperately wanted and kind of frankly needed, given how Far From Home ended, which is really, really nice. And as I mentioned briefly earlier as well, this deal also includes a final appearance from Spider-Man in another Disney Marvel film. So this isn't the Spider-Man 3, this is going to be another film that Disney and Marvel Studios will create, and Spider-Man is allowed to appear in one more film as well. So that means that probably, I'm guessing, in the next Avengers film, Avengers 5, whenever that may be, Peter Parker, Tom Holland will be allowed to reprise his role in that as well, which is always a good thing. And, you know, I wouldn't take this deal completely done just yet. I really feel like this is like a kind of thing they've come to for now, where it's like, okay, we can make the 3rd movie, we can have another appearance from him, and then I think they will end up working up something else where we may even see Spider-Man just continue in the MCU from this point going forward, which, again, is just a win for everyone. Also, I'd just like to read this quote from MCU President Kevin Feige, as he put out some pretty interesting thoughts here. He said, "I am thrilled that Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and I and all of us at Marvel Studios are very excited that we get to keep working on it." Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences across the globe. He also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spider-Verse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. So that's really interesting from Kevin Feige. He's saying that yes, we will have Spider-Man back in the MCU, we will have him for at least another couple of films, but we could also see Tom Holland, jumping back and forth between the two. We could see him in the MCU, but also in the Sony Spider-Verse films, whether that is actually the Spider-Verse movies or the Venom movies, whatever that might be, or even just other Spider-Man films just produced by Sony. There's a lot of really interesting thoughts there and just opens up a lot of possibilities for the Spider-Man news. But what do you guys think about all this? Obviously, this is fantastic news for everybody. I'm sure everybody is really happy about this. Tom Holland officially returning to the MCU as Spider-Man. We're going to get one more film from him in 2021, another appearance following that, and then we'll just have to see where it goes from there. But make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews and movie-related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again next time.